shaking hips. Our ancient ancestors were infinite, unlimited, and beyond labels. Yet society's true nature condemns us to the opposite. Growing up, with my three best friends came into my life, my younger siblings, we loved to play. Either it was building cubby houses, playing dress-ups, or the backyard Olympics. We enjoyed each other's company. And we understood and accepted each other fully. And I did my best to shield them so they could have a childhood of liberation and freedom. But upon going out into the real world with our parents, we were confused. The shopkeepers would call my brothers beautiful little girls and touch their luscious warrior curls without consent. And I was often mistaken for the man of the house with my seedy moustache and beard and monobrow that made Oscar the Grouch run for his money. My baby sister was showered in pink, glitter and girly things, because that's what cute, pretty little girls should like, when really, she loved to make spears and fish. So, to protect us from society's cruelty, our parents got us into gaming. Together, our siblings loved to game in the safe sanctuary of our own home. We fell in love with Xbox and PlayStation, as they never judged us while we played. But buying the games in store was a whole nother issue, as I tried to make us girls take My Little Pony over Fortnite and Minecraft, when we just wanted a game for all of us kids to play together. By the time I got to high school, I was known as a butch, and by the time my little brothers got there, they would get their hair pulled, slapped on the ass, or groped on the tits every day. It was pure harassment. Yet, I wasn't man enough for the bullies to be quiet and to be scared of me, to make them stay away from my siblings. Society tormenting us because we didn't fit into a neat sex and gender category really hurt. When Mum would take us clothes shopping, everyone would misidentify our gender and sex like it was our only identifying issue. Like that was the one feature we had. Like we weren't humans with history, hopes and dreams because we didn't fit and suit to a category. Like we weren't allowed to express our true selves the way we wanted. Like it wasn't hard enough being seen as a token half-caste, too white for the full-bloods and too black for the Caucasians, let alone be treated if we were not fully man or woman enough. Because I know anything we humans put our mind to, we can achieve, whether in a skirt, dress or pants. You are? That's what my siblings and I agreed with Mum, that no label can define us or tell us who we are. As long as we know our truth, we have got to prove nothing to nobody. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Shania. That was awesome. So our next performer is Rowan Hurrell, who will be reading Dead Girl. Rowan is a trans 15-year-old from Renmark, and they write a combination of short horror and fantasy stories and slam poetry, mainly focused around being queer. They are also in the process of writing a fantasy novel, including accurate queer representation. Rowan enjoys and participates in other creative activities such as drawing, painting, music, cross-stitch, embroidery, and theatre. They are also a member of the Riverland Youth Theatre's teen ensemble. If you give a warm round of applause to Rowan.
There's just a trigger warning for self-harm, so do what you need to do to stay safe. I feel like a camel in a snowstorm. Instead of being myself, I would observe those around me, carefully constructing a whole new persona. With her, I could be normal. I grew used to being someone else, used to telling lies to make myself more like them. I became used to the mind-numbing loneliness, the loneliness that comes with knowing there is no one who truly knows you, only the small parts shown out of desperation to belong. When I realised I'm trans, I found that part of myself I had hidden away long ago. Buried beneath all the fear and insecurities, it all just fit. But I grew sick of people grieving when I'd never felt more alive, never felt more me. But do you know what hurts more? It's clear in the way you still call me your daughter, that I'm still just your little girl in your eyes. But I'm so tired of that. I'm so fucking tired. Tired of having to explain why I'm valid, why I feel this way. Tired of those who say they understand but look the other way when people we thought we knew inflict wound after wound upon our hearts. Tired of the people that haunt my dreams, calling me the name of a dead girl whilst everyone stands and watches. Tired of the world we live in where I can't even dream of travelling to certain places in fear of what awaits me for what I am. Tired of avoiding mirrors on bad days but gravitating toward them to make sure I'm masculine enough, praying that my appearance reflects what I feel inside. Tired of feeling good enough to go out only to be called a lady. Tired of that one word that shatters my soul each and every time, each repair taking longer than the last in a never-ending cycle. Tired of pronoun pins being ignored, tired of being labelled female even in a binder and baggy shirt. I'm tired in the way that everything goes numb, heightening the urge to put a blade to my flesh just to feel something again. If this is what it means to live as a trans person, I would rather just be the dead girl. But the truth is, I can't go back to being her. I just can't live like that anymore.
Thanks, Rowan. Our third reader is our first Wayala reader for tonight, so get excited for that. We've got 2 poems, The Innate Need to Find Ourselves in Others and Sapphic Flowers. Rebecca Asti is a 20-year-old university student from Wayala, South Australia. With a love for everything creative, Rebecca spends their time reading, writing, or performing music whenever they can. Their personal favourite things to write include fantasy and young adult short stories, as well as poetry. Let's have a round of applause for some poetry.
The innate need to find ourselves in others. We cling to things that bring us comfort, things that help us feel seen. Those incapable of being themselves cling to those who are free. We cling to things that bring us hope, things that help us to speak. We idolize people who are just like us, but then we view ourselves as weak. So bring in the films, the music, and the novels, and we'll wrap our arms around anything that rids us of our troubles. We cling to things that take the pain away, things that give us a purpose, connecting ourselves to things that make us more than just an empty carcass. We cling to things that empower us, things that give us confidence. We focus on the things that have the ability to rid us of our consciousness. So bring in the characters, the friends and the idols. Bring in anything that helps us realize that being ourselves is vital. We cling to things that bring us comfort, things that help us feel seen. Those incapable of being themselves will cling to those who are free. We cling to things that give us hope, things that help us to speak. We idolize people who are just like us, but then view ourselves as weak. Thank you. And this one is Sapphic Flowers. Beautiful violet, all alone in the world, wondering how long it will be until she is heard. Beautiful lily, dancing alone in her room, wondering how long it will be before she can bloom. And they know that one day everything will change, and they know that nothing will ever be the same. Beautiful violet, standing strong and tall, wondering how long it will take for her love to cool. Beautiful lily, with her heart in a swirl, wondering if it is truly okay for her to love another girl. And they know that one day everything will change, and they know that nothing will ever be the same. Beautiful flowers, flourishing underneath the sunlight, wondering if their loves will call them again tonight. Beautiful flowers, growing taller than the sunrise, wondering how anyone else could be against these butterflies. Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. The fourth writer is Emma Richardson, who's written a piece called To See and Be Seen. Emma's unable to join us, so this piece is going to be performed by Rowan as well. But first, a little bit about Emma. They're an emerging writer and theatre maker living in rural South Australia. And in 2019, Emma was involved in Karklu and country arts essays writing place, where their monologue, It's Not a Bad Word, was published by Currency Press. For the Adelaide Fringe Festival 2021, Emma was assistant director, actor, and contributing writer for Lockdown, a play created by the Expressway Arts Ensemble, which Emma has been a member of since 2014. Emma is passionate about telling authentic queer stories that highlight the full spectrum of the LGBTQ+ community and hopes to use these narratives to bring a sense of belonging and connectedness to those who need it most. So can we get Rowan back again?
I stand in front of my mirror and inspect closely. Boots, the black ones with the scruffs on the toes, check. Jeans rolled up once, twice, 3 times, that's too much. Twice, check. Rings, 1 on every finger, check, 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 check. Jacket over it all with the pin over the breast pocket, check. I step back and take it in. Turn left, turn right, hands in pockets, pose for the audience, looks good. But there's a question I have to ask every time before I leave the house. Is it gay enough? Coco Chanel said, before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one thing off. But the modern standard of gay fashion begs to differ. Thus, it has been rewritten. Before you leave the house, look in the mirror and add at least 3 more items. So I add another pin or ring, some little thing to make sure my people see me. Not see me like you see me, but see me the way we see me. Those little signs that only those in the know know. Like a lighthouse in the fog, my queerness shining out in the world for my sailors to see and know where home is. I stand in front of my mirror and see a future yearned for, now come to fruition. I stand in front of my mirror freer than any who came before us. Open with identities, but still keeping close-knit communities. Lavender, handkerchiefs, violets, and coded speech. Why, are you a friend of Dorothy's too? Gone but not forgotten, morphed and changed with time. Keep the code but not the shame. Rings, boots, haircuts, undercuts, bright colours, button-ups. These little things like neon signs buzzing above our heads. I leave the house with 1,000 homing beacons sewn into the lining of my clothes. Their songs sing out on the only radio waves worth tuning into. Notice me, see me, love me, embrace me, find and hold me. I am one of you too, they shout out. You can hear them in the applause at a drag show, hear them in the I love you no matter what after a coming out, hear them in the cheers and chants of a parade, feel them in the smile of someone finding their community. I wake up each day and reflect on the past, on where we came from, of the protests and raves, of love kept quiet and early graves, of sacrifices made just to survive the night. I wake up each day and live out the dreams of those who came before me, their hopes and longings pouring through my veins, their fight and anger resting just below my skin should I ever need it again. Their hands in mine pulling me into a tomorrow some never got to see. I leave my house knowing there is a place for me in this world, a place fought and died for, a place once kept hidden, now freely given. Gone are the days of secret passwords and hidden rooms, hands only touching briefly in the dark, hiding away from shameful eyes. No more silent deaths in empty hospital rooms, bodies unheld and old names on gravestones. My love is open and free and loud. I will not be meek in love, whispering my desires in coded messages, folded small, pressed palm to palm, destroy after reading, pleading, please keep my secret. Because I have no secret, I am no secret. My love is not a secret. My chest is adorned with pins like war medals, heirlooms passed down to me from battles fought and won a lifetime ago. My jeans are cuffed with the anger of endless mourning over lives and stories stolen from us. I wear my big heavy boots chosen from a shelf full of big heavy boots, each ready to march, to riot, to fight and to honour. My queerness is loud and abrasive and beautiful, and I will not shrink any part of myself for those still left with closed minds, locked shut by their own hand. I leave my house free. I leave my house with no fear in my chest. I leave my house looking unashamedly queer.
Thanks so much, Rowan, for reading that, and thanks, Emma Richardson, for writing that awesome piece. Our fifth writer is Olivia Aston, who's also not here today. Their piece is called Falling in Love with Hope, and it's going to be read by Rebecca. So Olivia is an emerging young queer writer based in regional South Australia with a keen interest in social justice and fantasy fiction. She's currently in her final year of high school and intends to study law in the very near future. She's particularly interested in using fiction not only to create safe spaces, but also using it as a platform for addressing societal issues. She does this through her own work, regularly writing protest and spoken word poetry, as well as writing a dark fantasy novel about vampire, fae, and finding your place in the world. A round of applause for that. Oh, yeah.
The world is on fire. Your dreams, once alive, have suffered in the flames. They feed it. Fear, hate, anger, judgment, cruelty. It only grows. You open your phone, clutching the small screen between trembling hands, desperate to escape the flames threatening to singe your clothes. Scrolling through one video only leads to another, and another, and another. At first, it offers an escape. The new perspectives are refreshing, a sprinkling of rain on your fire. The fire, once roaring, is now reduced to a smoulder, leaving only ash behind. People are kind, supportive, and lift each other up. From these ashes, the roses bloom, yet you know, amongst the roses lies a weed. And when you dare open the comments, you see it. The hate from your world has planted a seed that blooms into more. The fire from your world laps at the edges. You screw your eyes shut. No, not anymore. Please. It chimes in your pocket. You turn your phone back on. A banner flashes across the top of your screen. Someone replied to the comment. Someone stood up for people like you. Their own fire roars, not all consuming like yours, but with a sense of purpose. They write with a sense of hope that cannot be thwarted, and fight fire with fire. The flames that lap at the edges of your mind seem lesser, tamed, but not gone completely. On a different day they roar. You hide to avoid being singed. You watch Netflix in your room, the space a shelter from the impending sense of doom. Afraid that when you finally step outside, the whole world will be embers. A show about Australian teens, queer, happy, and authentically themselves. They are real developed characters, people like you. You feel lighter, like a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders. You haven't felt this in a long time. This feels like hope. The flames are tamer now, becoming a manageable flicker, unlike that previous roar. When your vision is clouded by smoke, you remind yourself, look beyond the hate and fear. You will see people fighting the fires of cruelty, people making real and tangible change. You see the possibility of a future, a place in a better world, one where you belong. And slowly, you fall in love with hope. Thank you.
So much better. Thank you so much for that, Falling in Love with Hope. It was gorgeous. I wanted to say as well, I missed some housekeeping at the start. If anyone's looking for the toilets, you just follow the desk at the back around to the left, and the exits are obviously the door you came in through, and then one right at the end on the left as well. We're also going to have a 15-minute break halfway through, just so you're ready for it. Our sixth writer is another Whyalla local and someone who's a regular at D-Faces, Sebastian Hubner. Sebastian found their love for writing and performing after developing Tourette's syndrome and finding support in their local youth arts centre. They draw on experiences of disability, queerness, and living in the regions to reach out to people with similar experiences and show them that they're not alone. They compare their experience of Tourette's to having a sign in front of their face. People see the disability before the person. He loves world building and collaborative storytelling, so he plays and writes campaigns for 3 queer D&D groups. He's a hard worker. And tonight, Seb's work is going to be read by Charlie, because Seb is in the pantomime tonight. So round of applause for that.
Hello, my name is Sebastian. I have Tourette's. Sadly, I couldn't make it tonight as I am performing in Snow White. Can anyone who has seen Snow White raise your hand? Yeah, I can't see you. Anyway, I probably should have done this earlier, but can any mics in the audience please stand up? Thank you. That concludes the mic check. As a bisexual, my closet is crystal clear. As some of you could probably tell from my awful fits and long hair. But wait, you can't see me. So I was Googling identifiers, and the top answer was aviators. Like aviator sunnies. Like the pair I'm holding. Oh wait, you can't see me. Another thing is that apparently it's common to have horrible grammar. My apologies to the reader. One thing I can't do, sadly, is sit properly. Another thing is not knowing who is hotter, Thor or his sister. Now, a challenge that I've come across is being original enough while trying to stay relatable, or dressing myself to look straight enough for the girls and gay enough for the boys, or making literally any other decision, or the struggle of not falling for your friends. Now, my final call out on this list is the bisexual bob haircut, and still being indecisive about your hair. Being bi isn't being 50-50. It's being attracted to the men and anxious around women, but always feeling magically bisexual. I work in a bottle shop, which I know sounds bad, but it's actually really nice, and everyone is super chill. Last week, a young person comes through and asks if I'm fruity, and my dumbass replies, "Sure, we have fruity beers here." Now, once I realized what he said, my heart dropped, shattered by pure embarrassment. Maybe I'm the fruity beer.
Sweet, thank you for that. We're going to have a quick 15-minute break now, and then we'll be back with the rest of the program shortly. Hi, welcome back to Here.Now.Feast. Yes, okay, so we've had all of the commissioned works in the last segment, and now this segment was our open call out for anyone across the state to submit a letter. So it's called Dear You. It was an open call out to all LGBTQIA plus young people from 15 to 29 years old in regional South Australia to write and submit a letter to their past or future self. These letters are a mix of experimental, creative, and matter of fact, saying whatever the writer wanted or needed to say. We've chosen 5 of these letters to share with you tonight, and they've also been published in little print zines that you can grab a copy of on that little table there on the left of the balloon art. Eliza is demonstrating beautifully, thank you. So the first letter will be Rebecca Aspey, from Whyalla again, reading her own Dear You letter.
A letter to my past self. I know that life has not been the kindest to you. I know that the world constantly throws pain your way. As times move forward, we find ourselves in situations we wish we never needed to deal with. We find ourselves struggling more and more as the years go on. Then suddenly, things seem to start looking up. Life seems to stabilize, and you become more yourself than you have ever been. We eventually learn how to accept ourselves for things we did not choose. We eventually learn how to stand up for ourselves in the face of adversity. We eventually create a safe space, a safe community for people like us. I know your mind is filled with what ifs. I know you fear that God does not accept you. Try not to focus on those what if scenarios. They will just leave you aching and lost. Try to stay true to yourself and take time to fill your body with love and trust. The only way we truly grow is by making firm decisions in our life. These decisions will sometimes end up in fear and pain. But that is how we know that we are truly living. So go easy on yourself. Things will continue to get better with age. Understand that you don't need to understand everything, even if what you are trying to understand is yourself. Prepare for the future, but make sure to live in the present. I will continue to live a life that you would be proud of, a life that you ached to live. I will continue to advocate for our community, and I will also continue to pray, because yes, we can do both. I will continue to grow and mature and live. I will continue to write and dream and wish. Sincerely, your much more confident, older and clear self. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Our second letter is by Alicia Cram, who lives in the southeast, and Alicia's letter is going to be read by Shania Richards.
Hi. I don't know how to kick this letter off to you because I really don't know how it would end. You have already been through so much, and you will go through so much more. Even with those kids at school making life hell for you, it will get better. Maybe not when you're on that dreaded bus. Trust me, our mum will give you lifts to school so that she does not have to hear about you complain about it. You may get death stares from the people in the bus and everyone else that lives there. And when you do get into town to go to school, people will act the same way that those kids in the bus do. But once you see that one group of people, all of that shit will leave your thought of mind. Those girls that bullied you growing up might start rumors about you and about who you are. But not only will you have that group of people, you will also have a few of the most amazing teachers that are on your side and will help you out. You will get your heart broken a lot, a lot. But you don't need to be taken every moment of your life to be liked by others like those bullies told you. Life might and will make everything hard for you to the point of not wanting to be here anymore. and to the point of thinking you have to be like everyone else to be able to be happy. But that group of friends will be there to show you that you don't have to, especially the one with the long fluffy hair that he won't get trimmed, and some people think he's your brother. You will learn how to come out to our parents, and yes, it will be an odd shower thought on a Saturday night, and our parents won't care, but they'll be fine with it. You'll finally come to terms with the other things about you and tell all your friends, and one of them will help you work out a name that you like, and your teachers will use it when your parents aren't around. Our brother will stop being a big ass to you because he got himself a girlfriend, and she will teach him how to not hate you. Oh, and our dad will make a gay joke about the gay thing whenever he can. There will be this one girl that will break your heart, but you will learn to get over her as the time goes on. This is goodbye from now, the older you.
Thanks for that. The third letter is from Olivia Ashton from Saddleworth, and their letter is going to be read by Rowan Hurrell again.
Dear me from the past, I want to start this letter by saying life is full of surprises. Things may suck a bit now, but they will change. You'll meet your people, people who love and accept you unconditionally, people who accept all parts of you. It will take longer than you hope, and they will be from backgrounds you don't expect, but it's worth it. They help you learn and grow as a person. You even realize that perhaps reading things other than fantasy is not that bad. You even read philosophy novels now. I want you to know that although you have to sacrifice a lot to achieve your goal of studying at university, including pursuing courses, it will all be worth it, and now you are so close. You will not study what you plan, and if you can help it, don't choose chemistry as a Year 12 subject. It's not worth it. You won't study veterinary like you currently dream of, but you will discover a passion for social justice and equity. I promise it is okay to like more than one thing. As you grow older, you'll learn things about yourself that you never expected. There is a reason you never had a crush on any of the boys at your school. And no, it isn't because you are broken. Don't stress about it too much, you'll figure it out eventually. Although do know that those around you won't understand the hints you're dropping. Don't be afraid to be open and honest. As long as you stay true to yourself and allow room for future growth, you will be okay. You'll get to follow your dreams of having a horse, and even though it's only for a short while, I promise you did the best you could at the time. We're just hanging on until after university. Year 11 and 12 will be scary. I hate to tell you that, but I can promise you'll make it through. Hold your head high, you got this. Above all, I want you to keep going. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and remember this. You have survived 100% of your darkest days, and you can continue to do so. You are strong enough, I promise. I'll close out this letter with some advice. Make sure to have fun and explore what you like. Also, don't quit guitar because you get busy. You'll regret it later. Lots of love, 2022 me.
That was beautiful, thanks Rowan. The next letter is by Braden Whitaker from Port Lincoln, and it's going to be read by Rebecca Aspey.
To past me. Things might look bad or bleak now, but there will always be a light at the end of the tunnel. Things will get better, sooner than you think it will. You just have to believe that things will get better. Thank you.
Our fifth letter is written and read to us by Shania Richards, so please welcome her back to the stage.
Dear you, I know it's hard when you lost your best friends because they thought you was lesbian. You was only young and still finding yourself. You didn't understand love, let alone dating, gender, religion, identity, racism, bias, prejudice, culture, or sexual orientation, discrimination. Yes, you were treated like a barbarian. So when you were 16, still a virgin, never kissed, and never had a boyfriend, your whole school jumped to conclusions. They moved like a regime, authoritarian. The whole Clontarf boys of your grade made a bet who'd be the first to convert you and steal your virginity. Your own male cousins even made bets. Alarms went off like a distress beacon. Then suddenly, all the girls stopped talking to you and started talking about you. The school's lesbian. Then out of nowhere, your best friend came out and punched you. In the face, in front of everyone. You were so embarrassed and started angry crying as she yelled really hurtful things like, "Can't believe I slept in the same sleepover as a queer cunt. How dare you pretend to be my friend to check me out? You're nothing but an ugly butch. You must wank over the photos we took together. You were gonna rape me because I'm so beautiful, and I'm only friends with you to make me look skinnier. How dare you take advantage of me, black lesbian." Your cheeks went bright red. Your body started to shake with anxiety, and you were too hurt and too weak to fight back. So you let her say those things to you and beat you up in front of your actual crush and peers that you grew up with as if they were thespians. No one helped you as they circled and laughed and spat into you until you looked like eggs beaten. After all, if your best friend thinks this, then it must be true. After all, we promised to always be honest with each other, so why would she do this even if it wasn't true? As you had only said you wanted to be a libertarian. I know you are still scared to make friends and never trust again, or even use English, but there are nice people in the world willing to understand you. Bub, don't let that one experience stop you from finding company to enjoy the earth with. You have nothing to prove, and the right people will come to you when you are ready to be yourself, your full self, unapologetically. Love from past you.
Thanks, Shania. That was really awesome. So the final piece for tonight is a little bit special. We have a short performance that was commissioned by Writer's Essay that we sort of team attacked with a couple of writers, Rebecca and Cody, and one of our beautiful D-Faces drama people, Charlie. So, does it have a name?
Swan Song.
Swan Song. It's called Swan Song, and it's gonna be good fun. Round of applause for that.
So I was at school one, and this guy, he comes up to me and he's like, "Are you dating that girl?" No. That girl is my best friend. That's weird. Like, you ever go like driving tests? That one. So one time, like me and my best friend, we went driving together. It was our first time ever. And so I was driving fast, as you do, and she was in the passenger seat going, "No, stop, slow down, please." Like, it's not that deep. I'm sorry, no. It's not. Just one. That's all I ask. Just one of my own to call my own. It doesn't even have to look nice. How many have I gone through? How many tries do I have left? I know everything I need. I have never felt more in tune with anything else in my entire life. It just doesn't come out right. No. This is all your fault. This is all your fault. I'm doing this all for you. You know, I could spend my whole life not even thinking about these little things. How many of you remember? How many of us cared? How many of us kept trying? How many of you would care right now if I never even made a single one in my entire life? If I never even bothered anymore? Because let's be honest, these ones are so much better than anything I could ever make anyway. Sure, my dear audience, surely you would prefer this perfection. Oh look at this. Look what's in my hand. Does this excite you? Did you come here for this? I'm not bitter, but I'm not going to quit either. All I want is to have what I put into this world be of myself. But for now, why can't I show you my name once?
It's a crane, dickhead.
If you care that much about what I call it, you can have it!
If anyone wants to take home a crane and a cab, there's a lot of work to
Thank you, Charlie. Thanks, Beck and Cody, for writing that piece. Yeah, definitely do take a crane home. Remember this night forever. Enjoy it. Treasure it. Tonight's event was brought to you by Writers SA and D-Faces with support from the city of Whyalla, especially for Feast Festival 2022. And the writers here tonight were all commissioned through the Writers SA No Limits program, which supports young regional writers across SA from skills to publication. The No Limits program is supported by Restart Investment to Sustain and Expand Fund, RISE, an Australian government initiative, and Art South Australia. So a big thank you to all of our writers and performers. A big thank you to Eliza as well for liaising with all the writers and making sure they had the support they needed to perform tonight. Special thanks to Gail and the team at Council, absolute darlings, Mark running the live stream, and Jeffrey capturing our beautiful shots. And finally, thank you all for coming or for tuning in through the live stream. So stick around for the Pride Party or have a safe journey home. Thank you.